Hi, it's Gerry Lewy again, and I'm going to start about a 3-video series doing bright cutting. Finally, I'm going to do some bright cutting. Now, let me just show you what I did on this metal ring clamp. Since I'm going to be looking at this clamp constantly for the next half hour or more, I textured the surface with this paper sanding disc because I don't want this shining surface like this here to blind me from a fluorescent 2-bar light. So I just textured it, and this way I won't be blinded after constant use. So what I'm going to do now is get my very thin modified onglet number 1. In other words, I'm bright cutting, well, I'm not really bright cutting, I'm called rough cutting with onglet number 1, and I removed, you can see it here, you can see part of the left side of the graver tapered down using an oil stone. And what I'm going to do now is, as I started originally, a few minutes ago before I did the video, to do some rough cutting. Now the graver is going to, now you got my finger on the front of the graver, I'm giving it downward pressure, very important. I don't want it to be skimming across the surface. I want to cut into the metal. Little jabs. I don't cut into the hole. I cut on just on the outside edge of the hole where the diamond is going to be. But how large will that hole be? About 90% or 95% the size of the stone that you're going to be bright cutting, or I should say setting eventually. Now you got my little thumb guard. I don't want this graver edge to cut into my finger pad, cause me grief. And what I'm doing now is carefully cutting in, letting the graver get into the hole a bit, and make little jabs. Not into my finger, but into the silver. This is just a plain old silver band. I cut my caster, and I said, well, we're going to do some video graving, so he made a good job for me. I'm concentrating on my work. Forgive me if I don't talk. Is this hard? Yeah. I'd say it's about 25 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. Again, I'm starting now. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm checking the camera while I'm talking to you. I start just back from the hole. Cut in, little jabs. Let it skim. I'm going to let it skim. It's like using a pencil and a piece of paper before you do the actual picture. Then I'm going to come back, go a bit deeper, because the first cut is a bit of a rough cut for the second line of cutting. Does that make sense? No, but I'm going to use this as a guide. That's the word I need. My first jab of line will be as a guide for the second cut. Third time, going into the hole, I cut a bit deeper. That noise is something that's vibrating on the bench. Whenever I make a jab, it makes a noise, so I don't care about that. You notice my finger is almost white because I'm really forcing the graver into the metal. Remember, the first cut is always the lightest. It's a guide for the second, third, and maybe the fourth cut. Here, see how I go? I go right into the hole. I flick the graver out, go to the next piece of metal. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do now is stop. I'm going to stop cutting and examine exactly what I got. Get all that metal away. I'm going to leave this little rectangular spot. Looking at the camera too. I'm going to leave this little rectangular spot. I'm not going to touch it now. I'm going to go with another graver in a few minutes and make a bit wider cuts. I'm going to go over a few more times. I don't want to waste your time watching repetitive cuts. Then when I want to start bright cutting with onglet number 2, right-sided bright cutting tool, I'll turn on the camera again. But this is what happens. All the diamond setters are using the same process of getting their finger right on that curve. That is made with a bench grinder and using an emery paper to smooth it down. And you could see that this graver now, the blade is resting on this finger pad, because if I don't, I'm going to have cuts and crevices, and I don't like that. I waste more fingers that way. So I don't want to waste any fingers. Nature gave me 2 thumbs and 8 fingers. I don't want to waste any. I do joke a bit. Now we're getting a bit deeper. I'm going to sharpen my onglet. I feel that it's getting worn down. Almost. And now I'm going to stop and make sure that all the cuts are nicely done. The graver is sliding, and that means, what does it mean to you? That the graver is sliding, that means the point is gone. And I could see that with my 10 power lube. This is a shiny point is gone. It's not digging in as much as I would like it to. It's a fingernail test, and if it's sliding, that means the point is actually broken. So I'm going to stop, put my graver to the oil stone, and fix up the blade again, ready for the next video. Hope you enjoyed this, because I am. This is my hobby. I love working. I get into the hole. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.